Wow, it feels like it's been so long since I've done a live video. It kind of has, though. I checked my playlist on YouTube and I realized my last live video I recorded was in March. I think it was March 13th. I'm like, it's been a while, so I am back. I'm just going to do like this quick update here. Because a few things have happened since I last went live. In fact, my last live video I recorded when I was in Harlem, I had went to Slutty Vegan for the first time. I have more. I gotta re up, y'all. I gotta re up on these. But I went to Slutty Vegan and I did a live video reaction to tasting one of their burgers, fries, and that was the very last live video that I did back in March. So now we are in April. I think today is April 16th. It is Sunday. It's a beautiful, beautiful day outside. I'm feeling renewed. I'm feeling refreshed. I'm feeling highly motivated, highly energetic. And I thought I'd just check in with you guys very briefly. This might be like a 30-minute video. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, I am doing laundry. Today is laundry day, so we'll see how this goes. But where can I begin? So, okay, let me just say this in terms of why I decided to take a little hiatus. I feel like I make a lot of videos, as you guys can see, on a variety of topics related to dating, relationships, alternative sexual lifestyles, politics, race politics, just things that interest me and sometimes interest you guys too as well. Like cuckolding, for example. I give a lot of myself, and I feel like oftentimes it's not really reciprocated. Like, I get inundated with a lot of email requests from you guys, which I obviously have welcomed in the past, for you guys to submit topic ideas, the things you want me to talk about. And I have very graciously given you guys my video response, my analysis on various topics that relate to your personal lives. And I've given much of myself, right? And yes, I know that you guys are very grateful, but I just feel like I'm at this turning point in my life where I am pulling back more so from social media. And I felt good. It's not that I'm like completely removed myself from social media, because obviously I'm still engaging with you guys like via posts and comments. But as far as making live videos, I have pulled back from doing that. I feel better. I just feel better, I think, because I think I want to maintain my own privacy, my own confidentiality with regards to my personal life. Yeah, so I think that's how it should be, rightfully so. But you guys, y'all know I'm a storyteller. You guys know that I live a very colorful life. So I wanted to share this most recent dating experience that I went on, right? Y'all already know. Y'all already know. Like, my life is just so, like, I can't even begin to explain, like, how my life is just so atypical. Clearly. So it's no surprise that my dating experiences will just be, yeah, that's the reason why I really don't date. All right. Like, it's funny enough, like when I go out on a date and after I experience that person, right, and I sit back and reflect, I'm like, this is the reason why I do not date. See, this is the reason why, because, So It has been over 2 years since I've been out on a date. It has been over 2 years since I've been intimate with a man. Like the last time was January 2021. We're in 2023, April in fact. And I figure, I'll loosen up a bit. Maybe it's time, right? Like, I'm 39 years old. I'm not getting any younger. I do want children someday. I will be 40 in September of this year. So I'm like, let me loosen up a little bit, right? So I have been on this dating site and I came across this guy, or he came across me rather. We was vibing on the dating site. Very good conversation. I think that he started out with a lot of cool points because he and my father share the same exact name. Well, first name. Yeah. Well, he goes by my father's first name, right? Which is Joseph. So I'm just like, okay, you starting out with some cool points, right? Because it's funny, I saved this guy's name in my phone. It's Joseph. So every time he calls or texts, it's like Joseph pops up. I'm like, wait, it's my dad? But of course, my dad's name is not saved as Joseph. It's saved as Dad, right? So I'm like, okay, he started out with some cool points. He has a house where he's renting the top floor. And I'm like, I was kind of skeptical of that. I'm just like, how much privacy do you really have, right? But he said that he's renting a top floor. It's in like the border of Long Island and Queens, which is actually closer to where I work than where I live. I live in Upper East Side, Manhattan. So I'm just like, I don't think that will be a major problem. He works in finance. He said he has his own business. I'm like, okay, can't be that much of a problem, right? We, of course, exchanged contact information. We did the video chat, right? Like probably within the first couple days of exchanging contact information, we went ahead and did our video chat to confirm that we are who we say we are, right? And funny enough, like I'm a very spiritual person. I'm big on vibes, right? So I looked at him, right? Of course, he's looking at me when we connect virtually via video chat. And I'm reading his energy. It didn't give off confident vibes. And you guys know, I cannot reiterate this enough. It's just like, I think it's just, some people, either they are remiss or they're just dumb. I don't know. But I've said this over and over again that I am attracted only to alpha men, dominant energy. Okay? That means you're confident in who you are. That means you're not afraid to take the lead. You take initiative. You got your shit together. All of that. And I'm reading his energy. And he comes on camera. And he's like kind of like bent down, like kind of curled in, like this, right? And I'm just like, that right there should have been my first warning sign, like first red flag, like, right? But me, I'm trying to assess the total picture, right? So I'm like, all right, even though when I saw that, I'm just like, he's coming on camera all like curled over, like, he's leaning in, quiet. I don't like shyness. I don't. I just like men who are comfortable who they are, because like it's a reflection of me, clearly, right? I can be more introvert. I think naturally I'm an introvert, but with time, right, and with maturity, I have come more comfortable with who I am, accepting who I am, flaws and all, right? So it shows. I express that. I'm not afraid to articulate myself, right? And yeah, he's giving shy guy vibes, and I'm just like, okay. He's just looking, I'm looking at him, he's just like, so I'm like, so I feel like it was more so me taking the initiative in that interaction, our first video interaction. I'm just like, okay, you look like your pictures. And he's looking at me. He's like, really not expressing his thoughts. Like he has difficulty communicating. that obviously is a turn off. I brushed it off. I'm just like, whatever. So we're chatting. And then, like, for me, I'm not really much of a video chat person. The reason being is because all guys do is sit there and look. Just like y'all do when y'all come to my live videos. You sit and you just stare, okay? I am clearly a conversationalist. I like talking. I like communicating, right? I like building, intellectually discoursing things, right? I don't just like sitting there and having people just stare at me, and unless it's in a different type of context where, like, you know, something else, right? I am like, I do identify myself like as exhibitionist, but that's something different, right? Like when I'm getting to know a person, like I like to connect on an intellectual basis, right? So yeah, I don't like the video chat thing. He likes it. He's just like, oh, well, you know, he wanted to stay on chat. And I'm like, no, we already confirmed that we are who we say we are. Let's just do audio because we're not talking. He's like, why? I'm like, we're not talking. You're just looking at me. I mean, I know I'm beautiful. I get it, right? But after you embrace my beauty, like, let's build. Anyway, so we took the conversation off, and then it was just like we building, we're talking my phone, you know, day by day. And we had a conversation about deal breakers, what we look for in a partner, right? And I felt like what he shared was reasonable. Like he was saying things along the lines of like he liked clean women. He don't like to go to a woman's house and see dirty dishes. It's just like that's basic shit, right? He likes natural women, right? He don't like women that wear weaves and eyelashes. And I'm just like, okay. And he kept emphasizing it as if like he didn't already see that I'm clearly a natural woman, right? I feel like that should go without saying. That's kind of redundant more so, you know, to emphasize things that aren't even relevant, right? I'm that kind of person. Like, if it's not relevant, let's not hash too much on that, you know? But anyway, so that was that. And then it came time for me to share like what I like in a man and my deal breakers, right? And I was beginning to say, like, sometimes it's just like the little things. And I can see in a guy and I'm completely turned off. And once I'm turned off, I cannot get turned back on. Like, I already see you for who you are. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, you know, I forgot to mention, like, I hope he's not seeing this video because funny enough, he's calling right now. Even if he is, so fucking what? Listen, I'm 100 with mine, right? I am who I am. It is what it is. But funny enough, he is calling right now. I'm not answering the phone. We're going to get into why I am not answering the phone, okay? I'll have to be mindful of the time because my clothes are drying. And I have some things that I'm going to do today. But I began to like share my deal breakers, and of course I start with saying just the pet peeves. I have like things people may say this little, but it's not little to me, right? Like if you know that my love language is quality time, that is my love language. I know we all have different love languages, right? I get it. I learned that his is like physical touch and affection, right? I'm gonna tell you, we did actually make it to a date, right? In-person date. I'm gonna get to that. But like for me, it's quality time. And as I was sharing with him, was on the phone, I was sharing with him what my deal breakers were and like the little pet peeves. And I'm just like, you know, I gave him examples from previous relationships, like dating experiences more so. Where a guy can just do something and I'm just like, forget about it. Nope, I don't want to do this anymore, right? And so as I'm sharing my deal breakers, he's like, hold on for a second. He puts me on hold. That's the thing with me, yo. Like, I feel like for me, if we are going to build on a conversation, I am giving you my undivided attention. Right? If I'm busy, if I know I'm going to be busy, right? If I know that there are going to be interruptions, and I'm not going to schedule that time for us to talk. However, if I'm on the phone with you and I'm scheduling time for us to talk, you have my undivided attention. That's just me. I feel like that's just respect. You know, I treat like dating interactions, especially in the beginning phases. Now, once we've already solidified that foundation is there, we're dating, we're probably living together, you know, we're in a different phase, right? But in the initial, very sensitive, fragile phases of getting to know and build, why risk that? Why, like, come on, we don't know each other. We're building trust, right? So he puts me on hold, and I'm sitting there like, I know my time is valuable, right? The hold didn't last that long, but he comes back and he's like, I gotta go. That annoyed the shit out of me, right? Because it's just like, how convenient that when I am sharing my deal breakers, you have to go. All right, fine. I'm not going to argue. I'm not the kind of woman. It should be very clear. I don't chase men. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to say, okay, right? I let that go. Then he hits me up later. He's like, yeah, you know, sorry about that. We can pick up from where we left off. I'm like, I didn't know that you had anything else planned. He was like, yeah, I had to go take someone to the airport. Just whatever, right? Yeah, take someone to the airport. What? But you didn't say that, right? Like, I feel like before we even get like deep into we're getting into very vulnerable topics here. We're talking about deal breakers and past experiences and this and that and the other. And you are interrupting me. Whatever though, right? That was that. This is like the beginning, you know, phases of, you know, our initial exchanges that we were having, right? Before we actually made it to the face-to-face date. That to me should have been I should have just cut it off right then and there, right? So then it's like, it was other stuff that he did too. It was kind of like annoying. And maybe I admit, I even expressed to my colleague, I said, you know what, because I did, you know, talk to my colleague about it. I'm just like, it could be me. I'm aware, right? It could be me. I'm a very different type of person. It should be clear, you know? Yes, a lot of shit just turned me the hell off. And once I'm turned off, like, I'm good, right? And so, like, he was just other shit that it just was annoying me, right? And I got to the point where I was just like, forget about the date. Because he was already talking about, okay, well, because he planned the date early on, right? Maybe like, I don't know, second, third day phone exchange, right? He then planned a fucking date for last Sunday, I think it was. We went on a date. And so he planned that in advance. And then, like, leading up to that, I'm an honest person. I'm like, I ain't really feeling this. I don't feel that we're compatible. I've said that to him, like, several times over. I don't feel like we are compatible. I know what I like. That's just the thing. Like, I know some people, you know, are different phases of dating and getting to know who they are, their development. I know exactly what I like, and I'm not feeling it. For me, because I'm so spiritual, like, I know I can look at a person, I can look at you in your eyes, and I can tell, like, yeah he's a one. It's just something about things being aligned in the universe, just alignment. If it's not aligned, it ain't right? And so he kept pushing it. He was like, no, you didn't even give me a chance. You know, at least meet me first, right? That's where he was like, at least meet me first. You're cutting it off, right? You know, he said I was jumping the gun. And so I'm like, I trusted his word. I was like, all right, you know, even though I really already see that this is not going to work, and he tried to, like, problem solve, right? He tried to see, okay, what was the issue and try to fix it so we can move forward and go on our date that upcoming Sunday, which was last Sunday, right? And I'm like, I mean, I appreciate your effort. But if it's like, I'm not feeling it. I know when I'm feeling something, right? Everything is aligned. This ain't it. Kept pushing it. So we end up going. Because funny enough, like, I think I had went a day or so without, like, I just said, fuck it. Because I put in what another person puts in, right? And I felt like he was not putting that in. Like, he didn't call me for one day. So I give back to what you give me, right? It didn't bother him that we went a day without speaking. I'm just like, all right. But if this is like, we're talking about like day 3, day 4 of phone exchanges after we exchange contact information. And you're giving me this energy like it don't matter kind of thing, right? I pick up on that and I'm going to give you that back. And of course I expressed that to him, right? Because I'm very communicative and I'm just like, all right, I would like for us to maintain consistent communication. And this is what we want. If it's not, listen, don't play with me. Like, don't play with me. I think women were already emotional, right? And then that emotionality increases depending on our hormones, right? Depending on what time of month it is, right? It's already another layer on top of that. And then on top of that, I am just unique in who I am, right? So would I say I'm emotional? I can be. I'm sensitive. I want to say emotional because I'm very disciplined even with my emotions and my sensitivities. I'm very sensitive, right? And when I say I'm sensitive, like I pick up on things very quickly, like subtle things that other people probably wouldn't notice. I sense it. I sense it in my spirit. I sense it, right? And I'm right. I'm head on with it. And he even mentioned, he was like, he was concerned because he knows, like, I'm very much connected to nature and the universe. And he's like, there's pushback. He's concerned about the pushback through the universe, communicating through me. Like, he knew what's up. That's my thing. Like, if you know that I'm very much aligned with the universe, right? I listen. And it's telling me, like, this is not, like, I'm seeing things before you are even able to allow them to play out. Come on now. Come on. You got, when I said this before in previous videos, like, yo, you dealing with me, and this is just on all levels, right? I even tell you guys when y'all send me y'all video topic suggestions and you want me to give a thorough analysis on what's happening in your life, you got to have your ducks in a row. You have to have thick skin and be ready to receive what it is I'm going to say. Because I see right through it. Come on. I'm very gifted in that. I have a lot of different spiritual gifts, but I let people know that up front so you're not alarmed. You have to have your shit. He wasn't ready. That's just point blank. He wasn't ready. You got to have your ducks in a row. If you ain't ready, you ain't ready. So anyway, through all of this dance that we were playing back and forth and, filling each other out and me observing him to determine, am I wasting my time? Is this even, and I knew that ahead. Like, I knew that well in advance, he's not for me, right? We're not compatible. This ain't it. I knew that. But, to his credit, to his point, I gave him a shot, right? In terms of not making a premature judgment, so to speak, but going on a date with him. We went on a date. And it was his idea. And I did like that, okay, at least he could put together an idea for what he wanted to do. I got about 10 minutes, 15 minutes on this video. So he suggested 2 restaurants. One was in Lower Manhattan. The other one was like in Brooklyn. And the one in Lower Manhattan was a Jamaican restaurant. And I'm like, okay. For me, it doesn't matter. Of course, I'm a foodie. But I treat myself to the finest things, right? In terms of restaurants. And like, I do this. I have whole albums on Facebook. I have whole YouTube playlists where I've been to different various cuisines across New York, Atlanta, LA. Like, that is nothing new to me, right? So for me, it wasn't so much about, okay, where we go. It's about the connection. right? And our spirit is being aligned or not, and then making a decision from there. So the day came around, we went, it was Sunday, right? We went out. He left where he lives. Headed to Manhattan. I'm already here, so of course I'm closer. So I'm like, let me know when you get on this side in Manhattan, that way I can leave my house. And I headed, to meet him. I got there maybe 10 minutes before he got there. And so there was a Starbucks, like, as soon as you exit, there's a Starbucks there. This is the train station. There's a Starbucks. I go up the stairs. Go inside the Starbucks. I use the restroom. I grab me some water. And I wait for him. I waited about maybe 5-10 minutes. I wasn't too tight because he was very communicative, letting me know, like, listen, I'm leaving Grand Central Station. I'm here. Like, let me know the stops. Right? I'm like, okay, cool. So don't have me fucking. Because I already told y'all about the other date that he didn't even get to see my ass in person because don't play with me. I'm not the one, right? But he, he kept communication, and he, funny enough, like, okay, so I'm sitting there at the bar stool at Starbucks, and I see like a group of people coming up the stairs. I'm just like, okay, I'm waiting. Like, where is this motherfucker at? Everybody else coming up the goddamn stairs. I know he has to be in this bunch according to the timing of where he say he was at, right? And the stop that he was at, right? So I'm like, okay, I know he got to be in this bunch coming up the stairs. Everybody else sashaying their ass up the stairs. And but his ass, I'm like, right? I'm sitting there waiting patiently because I'm in a good mood, right? It's a nice day out. Things were smooth, right? I wasn't too tight. And then he finally walks up. Now, the first thing I noticed was his head, yo. And that's what I got. Like, pictures and real life can be two different things. I felt like the picture him that I saw, and even the video him that I saw, it just appeared to be like bigger in a good way, right? Like thick, like he seemed to be like kind of built. I'm like, I don't know, what was I looking at in the picture or the video, but he seemed kind of, be kind of built. He sent me a picture of him with his shirt off. His head, his head seemed normal. It didn't seem like anything. But this guy that I saw as he was coming up the stairs, I'm like, is this even the same guy? I mean, granted, I recognize him. I'm like, is this even the same guy? It's like something was happening. His head just seemed like, I don't know, something about his head, right? It just stood out, right? That's what I noticed. But anyway, I overlooked that. He walking down the stairs. He walks inside Starbucks. He walks inside Starbucks. And he walks like past me. I'm like, are you fucking... I feel like that was another sign from the universe. Trust me, yo. Like, when I say, like, I'm very spiritual, I'm very in tune. I know when things are aligned, when things are right, things just, like, it flows. It happens. Things are being in alignment. But when things are not and they're kind of off, it's just off, right? And it says something when it's off, right? Pay attention to that. Those are signs. So when he enters, right, when you enter that Starbucks right there, immediately to your right, there's like a hallway, and that hallway essentially is, is lined with bar stools. And then you pass that and you enter the main area, and you can go and you can order. I'm like, how does he, he just seems so aloof. That's what the word is. Just like aloof. Like, me, I feel like innately, right? If you're walking in and you know that a person is waiting, wouldn't you look first to the waiting area. Yo, he walked straight past the waiting area, essentially, right where I was. Walked straight past that. Walked into the area where you kind of like go and you get ready to order. I'm like, unless I actually say, and then I got up, right? I got up to kind of catch his attention. And I'm like, I called his name, like Joseph, and he looks back. He looks at me. He looks at me like he's not there to meet me. Like he's there just to go get some coffee or something, right? So that's why I asked him, I said, well, you want to order something? He was like, no. So you're here to see me, right? He gave the impression like, okay, well, maybe we wasn't, aligned, right? I wasn't his match. And that's fair, right? We all have different tastes. That's the impression that he gave. So the impression he gave is what my spirit responded to. I responded to that. And I wasn't so enthused. I wasn't so excited anymore, right? And he was like, and I kind of reached out to give him a hug, but the hug that he gave, he was just like he was unsure, right? So we're walking away, because it was maybe like a 10-minute walk from that Starbucks to the actual restaurant that we had reservations at. This video might go, I need to hurry fucking up for real, because I gotta get my shit out of the fucking dryer. But anyway, let me see, can I make a shortened version, because all right, so we ended up leaving Starbucks together, and he just seemed like his mood was like, all right, I'm good. Like, I'm just picking up on his energy. I'm just like, he just seemed unsure, but then he seemed like, all right, cool, kind of thing, right? And we're walking, and he's looking at me, right? He's checking me out. He's looking at me, but not saying anything. Like, there you go, that passive, shy guy type of shit, right? Like, for me, this is how I know he wasn't another indicator. I've given you guys many indicators how I know he wasn't it, but this is another indicator. It's just like, the alpha man that I like, he's going to say, damn, let your woman know what you feeling. Whether good or bad, let her know. Speak your mind, He's just so passive, and one may say calculated. I won't even say it's calculated, because that came to bite him back in the ass, and it's the reason why I can't. But he's just like, yeah. And, he's looking at me with his eyes, and his eyes is communicating interest, right? But he's not saying that with his mouth. He's not articulating that. Like, yes, wow, you're beautiful. Just say it. Say I'm beautiful. And we get to the restaurant, right? Now, granted, we get there early, like maybe 20, 30 minutes in advance of our reservation. And the waiter there, the vibe, I liked the scenery, right? The scenery of the restaurant was cool. It was nice. The waiter was very colorful himself, right? He clearly was LGBTQ in that community. But I like the vibe. I love the aura of the place. And he's speaking with the waiter, let him know like what time the reservation was. I think it was like 1:30. We get there maybe like 1, I think. And so the waiter is like, the table isn't ready yet, but I can seat you guys. Now this is what I come to find out after the fact, right? What the guy who I was on a date with told me was that, okay, we get there too early, so we're not able to be seated, so we have to wait at the bar. So I'm like, all right, we can wait at the bar. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe 10, 15 minutes. We're just sitting there, right? Time passed. He orders a drink at the bar, but I'm like, I'm not here to be sitting at the fucking bar. That's not what this date is, right? And funny enough, like, there are guys on dating apps, they be like, oh, let's go out for drinks. Listen, I don't go out for drinks. We can go out to dinner. We can go out for lunch, but I don't go out for drinks on a first date. It's just annoying, okay? But anyway, so for him, we're sitting at the bar. He was perfectly okay with sitting at the bar. Me, I was okay sitting there, but just briefly, I'm thinking that we about to get seated. So then time goes by, maybe 5-10 minutes, and I'm like, I call the waiter. I'm like, can we get seated? He was like, well, you guys came here early, and as I told the guy that if you want to be seated now, I have seating outside. I'm like, this is new information. I didn't even know. Yeah, seating out. Like, why didn't you? I'm looking at dude like, why you didn't tell me that? I didn't get that right from when he was speaking to my the guy initially. So I'm like, yes, let's go outside. But then I'm looking. I'm like, well, you said that the booth over there, they had booths, right? He said the booth over there was for parties of 4. Then I look over and I see that there is a white couple sitting there. There's a white couple sitting there. But you said that's for parties of 4. And I asked him about that, right? Then the guy I'm with, right, my date, he's tapping me. I ignored the tapping, but he's tapping me. And after I finished communicating and confronting this freaking waiter who simply lied to say that, oh, we can't freaking sit at the booth, but meanwhile, there's a whole white couple sitting there. After the waiter walks off, I'm sitting up here looking at my date. This is another thing that annoyed. Oh my gosh, it annoyed the shit out of me. I'm like, yo, why the fuck were you tapping me? I'm communicating. It was like, I was just telling you, calm down. I'm like, calm down. I am not aroused. I am asking, I can have the right to communicate and ask this person who is working here, what the hell is going on? I have a right to speak up and assert myself, as I do in any other restaurant, thousands of restaurants I've been to over the course of my existence, right? But he's questioning as if like, oh, I don't know how to quote unquote behave, right? Like, this is my first time. That shit annoyed the fuck out of me. Can I just say that, all right? And he's making it seem like I'm acting irate when I'm just, I'm not even speaking at the tone I'm speaking now. I'm speaking this way because I'm clearly fucking upset. But then I wasn't this energetic at that point. I'm just talking with this guy, the waiter, asking simply, I thought you said that booth is for parties of 4. So it's like, if you guys want to be seated, I'll sit you outside. Like, yes, we want to be, this is supposed to be a date. Hello? Yes, I want to be freaking seated. Not standing up at the freaking bar or sitting in a bar stool. Anyway, so the guy I'm on a date with looking at me like I'm off base. I'm looking at his ass like, listen, do not get me freaking started. We get seated, right? Outside, which I thought was okay. I'm an outdoors person, clearly. We sitting at the freaking table, right? That I end up picking because his ass just like, he don't know what the fuck to do now. He like, I'll let her take the lead. He's telling the waiter like, oh, she's a boss, right? Because the waiter looking back, where do y'all want to be seated outside? And he's talking about, oh, she's a boss. Nigga. So we pick the table. I sit down. We sit down, right? There's no freaking menus, right? At least not on the table that I sat down at. We sat down. So then I simply say to the date, we don't have any menus. I'm going to ask the waiter when they come back, like, can I get a menu? Like, how am I stepping outside of my, like, this shit annoyed me, right? I was just annoyed. Because he's acting like I'm doing something wrong by asking for a menu. Like, y'all, you remember that movie, Disappearing Acts, when Sanaa Lathan and Wesley Snipes, right? I think she took him to hang out with her friends. Was it her friends, right? Or family? Her people, right? She took him out on a date with her people. And she was like, fixing his collar and, she was kind of interrupting him, kind of overstepping boundaries, I would say, like kind of antsy and kind of on her toes, as if like she was nervous and unsure, like, how he was going to act. Like, I kind of felt that way on a date. I'm just like, I kind of felt like how he felt, like Wesley Snipes. Granted, Wesley Snipes, he had a lot of insecurities too, though. But I felt like the things that he was doing, he was more insecure on my date, right? Which made me feel like the feeling was because off. Like I've been on many dates and never felt that way, right? I'm just like, why are you doing this? I can speak and I can communicate. It's almost as if he did not want me to say anything to the waiter. Like he wanted to communicate with the waiter. And I was like, so if I didn't speak up, we wouldn't have a menu. He was like, let them do their job. He was like, are you in a rush? I'm like, I'm not in a rush, but like we're just sitting here with no freaking menu. I want to see what's on. Like, what is the harm in that, right? So then it was a couple with a young baby. They were so cute too. Next to us outside, the guy, right? He takes the menu, the QR code menu from the table next to us, picks it up, and then hands it to my date. He was like, see, there's a menu right here. I'm like, I don't want that kind of menu, actually, even though I do have a QR code scanner thing on my phone. I was like, I want a printed menu. Okay, because I know they have those. I'm like, I want a printed menu. He looks at me like I'm just being too much. No, I'm not. Like, I don't like when people make it seem like I'm being too freaking much. But anyway, so the waiter comes. I ask for a printed menu. She's like, no problem. Clearly, no, it's not a problem. We got the printed menu, bring it back. But even that little exchange, like, I'm at this point, I'm just like, okay. I can't do this. But I sat there, I ordered, ate. Then, he still wanted to hang out, right? And it was still early in the day. I'm like, okay, cool, we can still hang out. Chelsea Market was, I noticed on Google Maps, like a mile maybe 1.3 miles, 1.5 miles away from where we were. And I remember that my coworker, my colleague, she wanted me to get her some body butter because I wear like this eucalyptus mint body butter at my place where I work. Before I put some on my hands, my arms before I do my therapeutic groups. And so she's like, she always says, that smells so good. So she wanted me to get her some. So I was like, well, granted, we're kind of like in the neighborhood. Do you mind going to Chelsea Market after this? And I say, do you mind walking? Like, I'm a walker. Clearly on my profile, I say I like nature walks, right? This is the issue that I have because it's like, hold on, guys. This is the issue that I have. Wrap this video up. What time is it? I think my posts are dry. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, but this is the issue I have because it's like, we put things on our dating profile, right? We discuss these things that are on our dating profile about our interests, our deal breakers, our turnoffs. And it's like, that goes out the window. Why, like, I'm that kind of person, yo. I'm very exact. Why even discuss these things? They don't matter anyway. Like on my profile, I clearly state that I like nature walks. I'm a walker. I can walk miles throughout the city. In fact, I'm going to do that after I finish folding my clothes. I'm going to leave my place on Upper East Side. I'm about to walk to Midtown. It may be like 2.5 miles from where I live, but that's nothing to me, right? So we walk from the restaurant, and I can't remember the name of the neighborhood that the restaurant, but I know that's like 1.5 miles from Chelsea, right? Market. We walk to Chelsea Market. We get there. He's acting like he's so fucking tired, yo. I'm like, and I'm also thinking like, yo, if you, like, he's, okay, mind you, I didn't even say this yet. He's 33 years old. I'm 39. I'm not tired. I'm like, I should be tired. I'm older than you. I'm like, you're too young to be complaining that you're tired. How are you? Like, what? I can't, yo. And I think he's like 6 foot. He didn't appear to be out of shape, but he's tired. Like, okay, maybe because your ass, all the drinks that you had, because he had quite a few drinks when we were at the restaurant. I drank too. I had a few drinks, but I think I had, 2 drinks? I think he had like 3 drinks. Anyway, he's tired. We get to Chelsea Market. He need to sit down. We sit down. We actually sit down, ironically, inside a wine bar of his choosing. He chose to go inside the wine bar. I'm thinking, okay, we can just sit fucking in any one of these fucking benches out here. He chose to go in the wine bar. He ordered some wine. He asked if I want some wine. Okay, sure. You're having wine? I'll have a glass of wine. Right? We just left the restaurant. I didn't really need, for me, it's not even about that. But for him, he wanted some more alcohol. We get that. And in my mind, I'm thinking, like, is this dude alcoholic? How much of a turnoff that could be for me, considering I want to procreate? Thinking back to my last relationship, my last serious long-term relationship that was from 2014 to 2017. This guy was an alcoholic, okay? Pure form alcoholic. And I know his sperm count was low, just based on the amount of alcohol that he drank, right? And no one really knows a person is alcoholic. There are warning signs, yes, but in the beginning, they hide it. Your alcoholics are good at acting like, oh, they're just a social drinker. Until you realize, and this is after you've already fallen in love with their ass, like, oh, okay, you have a problem with alcohol, right? And that does affect a person's fertility, their viability, their ability to reproduce. It does. So this guy that I went on a date with last week clearly likes to drink alcohol, right? And I mean, granted, he's Caribbean. From the island of, I think he pronounces Dominica. I think that's how you pronounce it, Dominica, whatever. So I'm thinking like, okay, how does this tie into sex, right? If you're tired from walking 1 mile, 1.5, like, how does this work out with sex? Because I like my men strong in the bed, clearly. Like, I like dominant men. You can't be fucking weak. Like, you can't be like, oh, I'm tired. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, so that's what kind of was going through my mind. Like, this ain't gonna work. This is just not gonna work because, yeah, number of reasons. He doesn't take initiative. He doesn't articulate himself well. He has thoughts. And later we come to find out, because after we left Chelsea Market, after I got the body butter, we walked. Yeah, we did walk. We walked the High Line because it was going to be either we walk along the East River where I live in Upper East Side, or he didn't want to do both, right? Because I was like, we can walk the Chelsea High Line, then catch the train to Upper East Side, and then walk along the East River. He didn't want to do both. I get it. Too much walking, right? So he was like, we do either or. So we ended up choosing after we left Chelsea Market, walk the High Line, we walk to Hudson Yards. There's a mall there. We go to the mall, we sit down. While we're at Hudson Yards Mall, then that's when he came to pour out and like, oh yeah, I like you, right? He started to say, oh, I like you, you're beautiful. You should have said that when you first laid eyes on me, right? And then he's like acting all, I felt like feeling his vibe, he was all hesitant. Kind of like cautious. He wanted to kiss me, but he was like, I didn't know, if you really liked me. That's kindergarten shit, right? If you have thoughts as a man wondering if a woman, just ask, right? Just ask that. But he did ask that like periodically throughout the fucking day, which kind of annoyed me. Because listen, if you start to ask that shit too many times, I feel like you're not sure of yourself. I told him, I said, listen, I've already said that, you look like your pictures, right? I said, you're attractive, right? Why, he kept asking me throughout the date, do you like me? What are your thoughts on me? Meanwhile, he wasn't even sharing with me what his thoughts were of me. He wanted to give me a kiss. He wanted us to be more affectionate. I learned this, later after the date. He wanted more affection. He was like, if it was up to me, we wouldn't have done all that walking. We would have just been in a corner somewhere, hugged up, kissing. And I told him, listen, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to that, right? Because if the vibe is there, the energy is there, and we are attracted, then I'm the kind of person, let's go with the flow, act on it, right? Nothing really should get in the way, but with it was his hesitancy, and I made a video on this before, like, is it the Me Too movement? Is it the women's rights movement? With creating this sense of reluctancy in men who were alpha, who were more dominant, who did take more initiative, are now more hesitant, cautious, asking questions every step of the way in terms of being intimate with a woman. Before you touch a woman's shoulder, can I touch your shoulder? Before you reach out and give a woman a hug, can I give you a hug? Before you give her a kiss on the cheek or on the lips, can I give you a kiss? Like, before, it will happen very organically, right? This progression of steps in terms of intimacy will happen very organically. Like, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that. Like, he's talking about this, his thoughts on it, like, oh, I wanted to kiss you. And we end up, yes, he did give me a kiss. We did kiss. But he was like, oh, I don't know if you wanted to kiss me, like, after the kiss. And he was just nervous and all of that shit. Like, this is the reason why I don't date. I don't. Because it's too much. I feel like the benefits do not outweigh the cost. The emotional cost of it, right? The time you put into the phone conversation. So the date happened, we were vibing, at Hudson Yards, and he was expressing things and saying things that kind of annoyed me. He knew that it annoyed me, and I felt like he said it just to even annoy me even further. It's like knowing that I'm a person who likes quality time. He was like, well, I don't know if we're going to be able to talk every day. Just bullshit like that, right? Like, it's just stupid because it's not a matter of reality whether we're able to talk every day. It wasn't even about that. It was about him looking for my reaction, knowing that it annoyed me. That's what it was really about. He knew that it annoyed me. He knew that this is something I like, so he took that to manipulate, to get a reaction. He's that kind of person. He likes to see the reaction. He admitted, like, yeah, I like drama. Don't play with me. I said, don't play. He getting a rise out of me. He's getting a rise when I'm saying, listen, don't play with me. Either we're going to do this and we're going to be consistent in our communication or we're not. He's saying this for a reaction. And so with me, I don't have tolerance for bullshit. I said, so after that, I'm like, listen, we finished the date, right? And I saw him as he, got on his LIRR train or whatever, because he was confused because we went to the newer side of Penn Station, the remodeled side of it, and he was just acting all fucking aloof, like he didn't know where he was. So I kind of directed him, saw him off. But I know, I'm like, I can't. I can't, like, you are fucking, you tampering on my fucking patience. I cannot. You're playing around and you have immature guys. They're immature. Like, you playing games. You see, like, a mature alpha man is not going to play and take chances like that. You're just not. You're not going to play around like that. You see that you have something good. You're going to bank on that and put your best foot forward. He's like, he reminded me of a little kid in high school. How they play. Just to see, get a reaction out of a person, like saying, oh, well, I don't think we're going to be able to, like, this is a conversation we had already had before we went on our first date face to face. He's like, I don't think we're going to be able to talk every single day. Just to say it, just to get my reaction, right? Knowing that it would create this back and forth. I'm not with that. And so it got to the point, listen, I'm going to wrap this up. It got to the point where, like, the date was over. I went home. He went back to Long Island. And I let him know, this ain't gonna work. He kept reaching out, calling, come on, nope, it ain't gonna fucking work, okay? You already know the things that I say I like in a relationship and my deal breakers, and we're not compatible, right? Don't take it personal. I have really nothing against you necessarily like that. It's just we're not compatible. You're a good guy. You're better for someone else. You're not good for me. I don't have time to play games like that. For a person like himself who claims that he works in finance, he owns his own fucking business, you should be a little bit more mature than that and not be playing games, trying to manipulate and get a reaction of a person, knowing that for me, quality time is very important. Don't play. So now he over there looking stupid because you want to fucking play games. And I don't think men really quite get the picture, because this is not the first time this shit has happened. I don't play. We can play about a lot of things, but don't play with my fucking emotions. Either we're going to do this or we're not. Either you want to or you don't. I am very disciplined when it comes to my emotions, when it comes to my decisions that I make. I'm very conscientious. And I will cut a motherfucker off. And when I tell you I'm done, it's no back and forth. I'm not about to play these games with you. Like, oh, I'm done, but I'm going to call it. I'm done. No, I'm done. Do not call me. And if you insist and you want to take it to that point, okay, you're going to be looking really stupid when you sit behind bars. I don't think you want to take it to that point, right? So, respectfully, stop calling my goddamn phone, because I ain't got time, right? Another thing is, like, after the date, you know, we had some phone conversations, and he started talking about the idea of me moving in. Oh, you can move in, you know, considering our distance that we live from each other. He's like, you know, you can move in. You can spend the night. The fuck do I look like? We ain't shacking up, and I'm not spending no motherfucking night. No. He's like, you can come over, you know, these nights, and then I'll take you to work. I'm not, no. What the fuck I look like, man? It's like these dudes act like a woman was born yesterday. They don't know, like, listen, I tell dudes, like, yo, you don't know who you fucking with. You know, and I think I separate myself and I shut things off for their own protection. It is really for their protection, because, bitch, I'm dangerous, okay? Don't play with me. If we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And I'm all in. That's the thing about me. I know myself, right? So if I come across a guy and I'm feeling him, I'm liking him, bitch, I'm all in. I'm 100% emotionally available. I'm there because I know what I want. I know that I want to build. I know that I want to procreate. See, when it comes to guys, I get it, you know. You see a woman, she's beautiful. Guys, like I say, are visual creatures. They're physical, they're sensual, they're sexual. He's thinking sex. He's thinking, okay, we build by being intimate. I'm not opposed to sexual intimacy. I'm a sexual being myself, clearly, looking at my videos. But don't fucking play with me. You know? I'm like, I shut that off because I'm like, no, we're not even there yet. I'm not opening myself up to any man sexually unless we are there. And if we there and you fuck with me, nigga, you're dead, okay? let me end this video on that note. But yes, it reminded me of why I choose to be single, because I don't play those games. I'm not these other women out here. I make that very clear to I'm not these other women. Do not play with me. He's offering to invite me over to his place. Oh, we can move in, and oh, you're my wife. We can get married. I'm like, you're just saying that because you think that's what I want to hear. Clearly, you know that is my intention in terms of dating. Marriage should be the outcome. You're saying things that you think I want to hear. Right? And then they get mad and be surprised that they want to say, oh, a woman, oh, she's crazy. No woman is crazy, okay? Leave women alone if you know damn well that you're not ready. You're playing around. If you are, then saying, oh, we're not able to communicate every day and you're being inconsistent with communication, that shouldn't even come out your mouth. I know what it looks like when a man is ready. I've been damn near married. I've lived, when y'all look at all my serious long-term relationships, there were 3. We all live together. I know what it's like when a man really wants to be with me, want to make some shit pop off. I know what that looks like, right? When a man has chosen and said, looked at me and say, oh, yes, I want you. You're the one. I know what that looks like. So I'm just like, nigga, don't. And women, they allow men to play around. That's the problem. Women allow that shit. And y'all be sitting around here crying over a man. You have sex with a man. You realize that that's all he wanted. Like, that's y'all. Bitch, I'm not the one. I'm not the one. Funny enough, I'm going to say this. There's this narrative going around on the internet. Somehow, men have created this ratio. I don't even believe that it's an accurate statistic to say that there are, 8 women to 1 man or 10 women to 1 man. I think they got a shit from the fucking Bible, some bullshit, right? So this strokes a man's ego into thinking that, oh, women have a scarcity of men. So therefore, women should lower their standards. I can't even say it fucking correctly because I'm like, it's bullshit. Okay, I can't even fucking get the words out clearly because I'm just about to say it's all bullshit. It's bullshit. And I tell every single man that expresses interest in me, don't believe the hype. Because just as many women that you think you have to yourself, a woman such as myself has most likely twice as many her way. After the date, listen, I got men blowing up my fucking inbox on a daily basis, hitting me up. So don't think that you're somehow my only option. That's some dumb nigga shit, okay? But let me end this video and go on about my day. And yes, I'm reminded of why I choose to be single. For my own peace. And so that I keep myself out of women's prison. Yeah. Because the issue is this, is that we live in a society where men get away with bullshit. You got women around here carrying a man's baby for 9 months. 9 whole months. And a man abandons a woman. Like, how the nerve can a man do that? You discard a woman after she's opened up her womb to you. You discard. They have no respect, no value for a woman. But yet want the black woman to come to bat for them against police brutality. And we still do it against police brutality. When they being hunted down. And I ask myself, I say, sometimes the universe does natural checks and balances, and maybe the black man needs to be fucking offed off by white police officers because they don't value themselves. They don't value the black woman. Yet and still the black woman remains committed to their ass. Whose womb do you come through? Every single person watching this video came through the womb of a woman. You come through our womb. But yet you disrespect, you disregard, you discard women. Absolutely no. And women sitting up here crying and putting men on child support and struggling. Not I. That's why I don't have any children. No, I don't know what it is like to be pregnant and to deliver a child. I don't. And maybe it should stay that way. Because men don't take shit seriously at the end of the day. They're not mature, especially a lot of black men, not all. There are a lot of good black men out there who are doing the damn thing, but a lot of black men, some black men, they're not mature. They think shit is a game. They're in their 30s, 40s and up, and they act like they're teenagers, wasting a woman's time. There's no consequences in society. I made a post that men should not be born with dicks. They should have to earn them just like a driver's license, straight up, because they are irresponsible. Going around here, fucking every damn thing, don't know what to do with all that semen and all that sexual, and they don't know what to do with it. All that sexual energy. They're irresponsible with it. Playing around with people's emotions, thinking shit funny. But let me do something in this video. Catch y'all later. That is my update. Oh, I wanted to say I've gotten, actually I think it was yesterday, an email, very lengthy email from someone who wanted me to talk about this topic, and I came up with the idea, which I'm going to make another video about, that I think I am not going to be responding to any more video topic requests unless there is a small donation attached to it. That's just how I'm going to move going forward. So if you guys want to learn more about that, send me an email. I'll catch you guys later in the next one.